time in Morocco was Argentine Sebastian Halpern. He was learning on every kilometre, but not only was he faster, but he was safer too. The biggest problem he found was judging the width of the buggy. In a Dakar stage winning car from 2021, he was 5th, come the checkered flag. Roman Chabots in the older Toyota Hilux was another to be happy back in the desert. He was fast out of the blocks with a 3rd on the first stage, eventually yo-yoing around 5th overall for the week, but on the last stage managed to leap ahead to finish 4th on his return to Morocco. Mathieu Serradori had a new co-driver for the rally with Loic Minaudier sitting alongside him for the first time. Immediately though, they struck up a great relationship in the 7-litre Century buggy, but the engine cried enough on the very first stage, so they had to get back to service, get the engine out, get a new one in, and then they had to just continue for testing. But they went on to be top 5 on some stages as they ran the largest 37-inch BF Goodrich tyres and found the difference amazing. The ride was more comfortable, the wear minimal with no punctures. DTM and Rallycross star Matthias Ekström is an Audi Dakar driver, but that car is undergoing a huge development programme, so the Swede was in Morocco with a mini 4-wheel drive to get more experience of the dunes, the tracks, but mainly the road book and the rhythm of how it's laid out. He got caught out on only one single dune on his way to 4th overall before the final stage that then saw him with a mechanical failure, forcing him to stop in the final kilometres. A great run though, and another star for the future. Kuba Przgonski also took a mini buggy similar to Sebastian Halpern, fresh from the podium of the last Dakar. First time in the car, the pole didn't take long to get up to speed. 5th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. But the only blip was stage 2 when he lost 4.5 hours. Otherwise, he'd have been up there on the podium. Next time, Kuba. Lucio Alvarez is fast in South America and proved himself fast in Morocco too on his 2nd visit to the kingdom. His speciality are the dunes, so it's the rocky roads ahead that he has to concentrate on, but it worked out well for the Argentine to be on the podium in 3rd, backing up his win in Kazakhstan. Yazid Al-Raji and co-driver Michael Orr have bags of speed. The Saudi on stages getting 2nd, the victory a 3rd, and eventually they finished 2nd overall in Morocco. Were it not for the odd puncture and the loss of 2nd gear on stage 3, Al-Raji may have been able to close in for the win, but the points he's taken have put him 2nd in the World Cup standings with 2 rallies to go.
I'm happy. Also need now to plan to T1 Plus. I need to drive it and learn it. Sure, it's different car and everything is different. We try to do it a lot of tests before the car, and sure we are ready for the big race in Saudi.
4-time champion, 3-time Dakar winner Nasser Al-Attiyah started as favourite in Morocco. Following his victory on the season opener in Andalusia, he and Mathieu Baumel blasted to 5 wins out of the 6 stages, and even then were only 2nd on the one they didn't win. Their faithful 5-litre Toyota Hilux, the very same car that won them the Dakar in 2019, was covering its last kilometres in style before its retirement and the dawn of the T1 Plus. It was a classy win for the Qatari to take another win in Morocco.
It's very important win here in Morocco, you know. I win 6 times, but Mathieu, he beat me by 1. He wins 7 times, you know. This is yeah.
Top of the table once more for Alatir and Baumel, just 16 minutes ahead of Al-Raji, Alvarez, Chabot and Halpern. We also had a glimpse into the future of rally raids. T1 is a way of equalising the performance between the four- and the two-wheel drive cars. Eric van Loon was driving the stages, but not included in the results. The new car has bigger wheels at 37 inches and 25% more suspension travel. It's also got a wider track of up to 2.3 metres and it carries a little bit more weight.
Maroc is very demanding, and this is a perfect terrain for testing and for validation of the eye shaft, prop shaft and gearbox and front lift. That's the thing.
The near-standard Toyota Land Cruiser of the Toyota Auto Body team had a great battle for the victory in T2. Akira Miura pushing harder than ever, but he lost out by just 5 minutes to the true privateer Patrick Pro and his buggy built in his garage back home in France. There are not many international sporting theatres where amateurs can enter, race and beat the big manufacturers, but Pro managed to do it with his victory. Into the T3 lightweight vehicles, and Lionel Costes jumped onto four wheels after being on a bike. He couldn't believe the battering the PH Sport Run Zephyr could take through the camel grass. But they all say that when they make the crossover. Fourth in T3 was a great debut. Jose Luis Peña was 1 place ahead of the Frenchman in third. A very different vehicle to the Zephyr, the slightly modified Can-Am Maverick certainly held its own in the class. Together with Fernando Alvarez's similar Can-Am, who scored some great top 3 stage finishes in the hard-to-win class. The Spaniard came home in second. So who was going to win the all-important T3 class? Cristina Gutierrez came into the rally leading the World Cup, in control at the halfway point of the season. Morocco was going to be a cakewalk to the podium for the Red Bull Junior OT3 crews of Gutierrez and Seth Quintero. They started in determined mood, winning the first 3 stages, giving Gutierrez a 49-minute lead overall. But then a broken gearbox on stage 4 put her back and out of the points overall. Quintero tried to help, but there was nothing he could do for his teammate. She still holds the World Cup lead, but precious points blew away with the dust. So, it was Pavel Lebedev who won T3 on Rallye du Maroc with his MSK Rally Can-Am. He finished top 3 on 4 of the 5 stages to back up his teammate Denis Krotov in the car class. He has now established himself into 3rd in the World Cup and firmly put himself amongst the names of the top runners for the Dakar.
It's not only the pilotage, it's not only the driving, it's also the car, the crew, the mechanics, the directors and so on. All these guys, all this team are Rallye du Maroc.
Lebedev victorious from Alvarez, Peña, Costes and Sotil. There was never going to be any doubt which one of the South Racing T4 entries was going to win the class. The question was, which one? Austin Jones, leader of the World Cup, Aaron Domzala snapping at his heels. They were always going to be in a head-to-head battle in the rally. Or were they? For Jones, he came in with a healthy lead in the title chase, having won the first 2 rounds. If all went well, at worst he'd come out with a reduced lead. But that's exactly what happened after a broken diff on the 4th stage dropped him way down the order to 6th. So 25 points is now his title lead. Rodrigo Lupi from Brazil had never been to Morocco before. You couldn't tell with his driving after he won stage 2, flying through the stage, only getting a puncture 200 metres before the finish. Latvian Rokas Bakjuska is a rally crosser. He'd never driven in the desert before and was still acclimatising to the roadbook and the whole rally raid thing. So to win stage 4 and be 5th overall was nothing short of just fantastic. The Goschau brothers, Marek and Michal, flew for the whole rally, with eventually Michal getting the upper hand towards the last 10% of the stage miles. Only for cruel luck to intervene and a mechanical failure, putting him out of the lead on the very last day. Was it the speed, or was it the result of high water temperatures that most were suffering? We'll never know, but it was cruel for the Pole. He will be back though. So it was down to the very last thrash, the very last 166 kilometres, and come the end it was Aaron Domzala who came out top in T4 in Morocco by just 6 minutes overall, but only after he'd taken out all of the spare parts that he'd normally carry in the car. He even took out his credit card to save weight. But it was all worth it for the Pole, who scores his first points of the year with a fantastic win.
We are a bit lucky with Michał having problems, but he had a great race, so I want to congratulate him because we had a really nice fight with him.
All change on the last day, but Domzala came out top ahead of Lupi and Amos. Top of the trucks was the all-Dutch MAN crew of Zermond, Quackel and Van Pellegoy. It was a smaller class in Morocco than normal, but even so they collected good miles and had great experience through the big dunes over towards Algeria. To cap off the rally, the prize giving was held in the bivouac, where everyone was presented their awards by David Castera. It was a time for celebration, realisation of dreams and fun with friends. Rallye de Maroc will return in 2022. Make sure you're with us on another magical journey through the dunes.